Another Wednesday. So you know what that means. Another dope interview coming from the Skyy Lounge. So, hello, my name is Lily. Have some fun tonight. First, we're going to talk to the beautiful Vivian Green.
Hi.
Beautiful.
Hi, beautiful. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Good.
I'm sorry I'm a couple minutes late. Everything is running over today, so I apologize.
You're more than fine. Fine. So,
Okay.
welcome to Next Level Podcast. I will be your host. My name is Lily, and we're so excited to talk to you everything. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So before we get into the question, we're going to play a quick icebreaker game. This is called, this is in honor of the first woman because we now have a beautiful Black vice president. So shout out to all my ladies out there. So this is for us to know a little bit more about you, empower all of Black women and women. So you're
Say it again. I'm sorry. You're going. Oh my God, I hate it. You're going in and out, and I'm so upset.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Just let me know if it continues to go in and out. We could probably just come back on here.
Okay.
Okay. So if you could go back and meet your 18-year-old self, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
The advice I would give my 18-year-old self is, oh my God, that's hard.
It is.
Don't worry about love until your 30s. There you go. Boom.
I think that's great. You're right on. Okay. The next one, in 5 words or less, what do you hope to accomplish before the end of 2020?
5 words or less. Oh my God. This is hard. Okay, making love absolute successful. That's 4 words. Okay.
I love it. And you're on the path to doing that. So it's going to happen.
Thank you.
It's no problem. And then the last one, although you are a singer and you're very talented at it, what is another profession that you could see yourself doing?
Being a songwriter for Broadway musicals. Boom.
Good. Okay, great. I done learned something new about you. Okay, cool. Okay, I know your fans are ready to get into these questions. So first, gotta take it back and talk about Emotional Rollercoaster.
Okay.
Came out in 2002. I was 11 years old singing that song. I didn't know what I was talking about. But what was the inspiration behind it? And did you know that when you put that song out, it would be such a huge success?
No, I really didn't. I don't even know. I probably don't even like the song that much now, but but no, it came about because I was really in love with this, person back then, and that whole situation with him just really broke my whole spirit, and that's where Emotional Rollercoaster came from. I think it was about, when I wrote it, I think I was 19 or 19 going on 20, somewhere around there. Yeah, and then when it came out, I think I was 22 or 3 by then. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say shout out to that guy. It sparked all that emotion, so we needed it and we appreciate it so much.
It definitely did. And I really wrote the song while I was running, so that's a fun fact about it. I was actually, because I would do this, I had this workout regimen where when I would go run, I would write hooks in my head. Like, this is something I did as a teenager. So I would write hooks in my head, and if I could remember the hook by the time I got back home, and I would run quite a few miles. So if it stuck with me by the time I got back home, then that meant it was good enough to finish and write the verses and make it a complete song. Right. So when I got home, I remembered Emotional Rollercoaster. And so
wow.
Yeah, I remember singing it all the way home in my head. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, cool. Well, for decades you've been releasing top music. What is your secret for creating great music? Because it's not.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the last part.
What is your secret to just creating top charting music? Because we know it's not an easy thing to do. So what's your secret?
Okay. I don't know. In the music business, you have some albums that did really well for you, and then some that didn't. I think the most you can do is try, to make a great body of work. Do everything in your ability to do that, and then a lot of luck takes place in this business. You know that, and so hopefully something on the album will stick. But as long as you're passionate about it and you did your best, what happens after you can accept, whether it didn't do well or whether it does fantastic. If you put your everything into it, you can accept whatever the outcome is. So that's how I approach making music. I try not to approach it like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write a hit song, and because when you have that thought, well, not I can't speak for every songwriter, but when I have that thought, I kind of stop thinking personally. I think about what lyric would be the catchy lyric, what would be the clever metaphor or simile to use that people will remember. You start thinking like that, and my fans don't like that. They like the more organic approach. So I have to make a point, like, don't ever try to be like, this is gonna be the single, because I know the kind of songs you can tell where it
Right.
was written to be a single. My fans don't like that. So I try to stay away from doing that and just really be honest in my music. Of course, have a catchy hook and put my all into it.
I love that.
That's all I got.
Okay, and your 7th studio album is Love Absolute. Congratulations.
Thank you. Always plug it.
There you go. By the way, I love that cover. Like your fro.
Thank you. Thank
Great.
you.
What was the inspiration behind naming it that?
So Love Absolute includes a lot of things that I absolutely love. So the way I wrote this album, most of it was written at the piano, except for the up-tempo songs. I wanted to go back to the genesis of my songwriting, which was me at 11 years old at a piano, writing songs with my little dictaphone. And you probably don't even know what that is, but
Oh, I was over here thinking, like, do I know it? Say it again.
it's a dictaphone. It's like a little skinny tape recorder, and it would have like three through like file A, B, and C, and you could fill them all up. This way before iPhones.
Look, I don't know, but I'm sure I've seen it because my mom.
Yeah, you've seen it like in movies. Like a lawyer will like pull one out in the movie to get like somebody's story or testimony before they
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you've seen like little skinny. Yeah, so. Because tape recorders were like square and big, but dictaphones were really skinny. You could kind of fit them in your pocket or whatever. So yeah, I would have that, and I would just write. And I didn't have a record deal. I didn't have a producer. I didn't have a studio. So wherever I went musically was where I went. But when you get in the business, you often can get caught up in the routine of, I'm making a new album. Let me let everybody know and start to get some music in. So you kind of start listening to tracks. And then you pick your favorite ones, and then you kind of, I didn't want to do that this time. I wanted Kwame, who produced pretty much all the album except for one song. I wanted him to write around me this time. I wanted to navigate the chord structures and where the songs would go musically and have him write around me this time. And I've never did that intentionally, but it is, for this much of an album, but it is my very, very favorite way to write a song. So that's one reason it's called Love Absolute. It talks about self-love. It talks about the love of my people, my love of jazz music. I haven't recorded a jazz song since my very first album. So yeah, just a lot of things that I love. My love of my relationship and how important it is to me for it to be private, so we can protect it, and stay strong without outside influence and energy. So yeah, it's just, like I said, it's about a lot of things that I love.
I know. Speaking of your people, on your new album, you have a few features that include your sister and also son. So, what made you want to include family project?
I think it's always fun for families to be included. I've done it a couple times in the past. Like my niece has been on an album. My son has been on at least 2 other interludes he's been a part of. When he was much younger and he had a high squeaky voice. It's fun. It's just fun to include them and have them be a part of it, even if it's a small part. I think it just makes them feel like they're a part of, my life in some way, because
Right.
The entertainment industry is so different from what my other people in my family do. It's like sometimes I feel like there is a disconnect where they really don't kind of understand what I do or how it gets done and all that kind of stuff. So to have them be a part of it was really fun. My sister actually wrote the interlude, so that was fun. She's a fantastic writer. She's a teacher, and it was just really fun to ask her to do that. So what the interludes are, they express the point of view from three different women, three different age groups. So we have like a really young girl who's like 20, and then you have like a 30s, 40s woman, and then like a senior, and they're all speaking from different perspectives, but essentially about the same thing. Right. And then that topic is what the song is about that comes after the interlude. So yeah. And it was important for me to have the actual real voices of the age groups and not try to have me mimic, you know, yes, anybody, because you could feel it gives it some texture, you know, to actually have someone else besides me, you know, have the real people of these ages saying these pieces to really feel how universal the song is. You know, if I was trying to mimic the voices, it wouldn't have felt as real, you know. So yeah.
The one thing that is just a reoccurrence is that authenticity that you provide. So I love that, and I feel as though like that's what's really, obviously you're very talented, so it's your voice, but
thank you.
Authentic and just allowing us to see your transparency is why you've been so successful and will just continue to be successful. So we really do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You already brought him up, and I was going to ask this question, but let's talk about the importance of having a strong producer, which for you, Kwame Holland, he's worked with you over the years. How important is it to, one, have that relationship with the producer and making sure that it's a strong foundation? Because they don't.
I think he just balances me out, because, you know, musically I'm always here, you know, I'm all over the place. I'm wherever my influences come from, which is everywhere. So I'm always in all these different places, and he knows how to bring it all to the center and make it make sense. Like, I go off of how I feel, like, personally. I guess I'm kind of a selfish songwriter in a sense. Like, I want to express how I'm personally feeling, and he cares about how the people feel. So he always is able to bring me back, like, okay, maybe not say that because maybe people won't relate to it. Let's try to say it this way. You know what I'm saying? Or, okay, this ballad is cool, but I'm going to make the 808 poppin' so people rock to it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So he always provides that balance where it makes sense and where people really relate to it and enjoy it. You know, it's been working since 2015 when we first put out Vivian, Get Right Back to My Baby. So, you know, like I said, if it ain't broke. So yeah, right. He's fantastic with balance and with just having a ear to the people and what people want. You know, I think that's why he's been a successful producer, just period, you know?
Yeah.
Where, that's really, really important.
That's dope. So shout out to all the producers out there. I know sometimes they don't shine in the love, but they really do put in a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
That's to hear. Now, before I let you go, you have been nominated for multiple social awards, and the awards aired November 29th. So maybe like in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about our current R&B artists? It seems like they're a generation of music, and sometimes some of them I feel like they give us the feel that the guys gave us. But what are your thoughts about how R&B, the genre of R&B, has shifted?
You know, I think people say stuff like R&B is dead, or, you know, that's not real music. Like, I hear these terms all the time, but I don't know. I just feel like people aren't listening. Like, or you are a lazy listener and you expect everything to come to your front door, and you don't want to do, it's not even research. It's a click of, hey, if you think you haven't heard from someone in a long time, just Google them and you'll know if they had a new project out that you might have missed. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you don't listen to the right station and you just think like, oh, you know, I haven't heard from her since, you know, I've heard people say they haven't heard from me in 10 years. I'm like, well, that's fine that you haven't, but you definitely weren't looking either. Right. Like, I'm not offended that you haven't, but don't say it like you've been looking. You know, it's not even research. It's just like a quick, in the Google search, and it comes right up. So we have to make sure we're looking for our artists and supporting them, and not always expect, you know, it to come to our front doors. But with that being said, most of the streaming sites do kind of put it at our front doors. If something new is coming out, you get an alert.
Right. So true.
You know, and it's like, so there's so many ways to access fantastic music. If you're not getting it, then I don't think you're trying very hard. That's what I say to that. And with that said, you know, I love there's some great newer artists that I really love. I love her, you know. Yeah, so it's not dead. That's what I say. It's definitely not dead, like at all. But we got to keep it going, that's for sure.
True, so true. Well, you're currently keeping it going. Congratulations to you. For everyone out there, how can they support you, keep up with you? What's next for you?
So you can go to on social media. It's at I am Vivian Green. That's all of my socials across the board. My website is viviangreenmusic.com. And from those two things, that you can find out everything that I'm doing, everywhere that I'm going to be. There are links to purchase my album on all of the platforms. I am on all of the streaming sites. You know, the links on my socials and website takes you directly to. But if you go through the way that you normally go through, I'm there, you know. So, oh yeah, and they debuted at #1 on iTunes. Yay! So I'm excited about that.
Yes. You should.
So don't say you didn't see it. No, I'm just playing.
Right.
I'm just playing.
But thank you so much for joining us. We are rooting for you, supporting you. You're so beautiful, so talented. Keep up the great work. Oh, this is so funny too. I was looking at the videos and I'm like, darn, she always has some fine man. And I'm excited to see the newer videos to come out. See who you casting in these videos. But no, seriously, we appreciate you so much. And thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, and thank you so much for having me. It was fun. I appreciate a good interview that doesn't feel generic. So thank you.
No problem. But
say it again.
I was just saying, take care. I know.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. It's going in and out. Okay, I'm sorry. Take care too. Bye, beautiful.
Bye.